It's true. If you're selling anything that is somewhat low ticket, then this video is going to be one of the most important videos that you'll ever watch, because it's going to change the way you strategize, plan, and execute any type of low ticket offer. And also, you're going to be able to see what you need to be doing instead if you want to be able to have that unfair advantage. So, to set context to this video over here, this is how we marketers have always been taught a really long time, which is you want to be able to build up this value ladder. And in order to build up this value ladder, typically you want to be able to give value and deliver something for free in exchange for somebody's name and email address. And then after that, you want to be able to have something that's somewhat low ticket. Sell something that's $50, $100, $300. And then after that, you want to be able to have that $1,000, $2,000 offer, sell it through some sort of presentation or webinar. And then after that, you want to be able to get your dream clients and have them on some sort of high ticket. And here's the thing about this entire model over here. While this model has served myself and marketers well for a long time, this model is now dead, it's obsolete, it's gone. Okay, and if you're somebody that's trying to sell stuff low ticket, mid-level ticket, you're gonna get crushed and destroyed if you try to follow this model. Now, why is that the case? Here's why. If you take a look at ad prices and ad costs today, first of all, if you try to send people to some sort of email list or low ticket offer, right, free plus shipping, whatever it might be, you're gonna notice that, number one, gone are the days where you could put $1 into some sort of free plus shipping offer and immediately get $3 out on the front end. Now, can you recover it after with a good strong back end and follow up and high ticket and recurring? Of course, right? But in most cases, first of all, notice that low ticket, the funnel is complicated. In order for a low ticket to be profitable today, what are the things that you need to have in place? You need to have an order bump, you need to have an upsell. In fact, typically you probably need to have 2 upsells. Even then, it's going to be hard to break even because after that, on the order confirmation page, typically to make it work, you will have to have some sort of appointment funnel or to get people into a phone call to offer some sort of high ticket. And that is the only time, well, not the only time, but one of the few moments when you can make a low ticket funnel work. So in other words, a low ticket funnel is great as a scaling strategy, but if you are new, this should not be your starting step anymore. Why? Because it just takes too much work, too much effort, too many funnel steps, too many offers, too many products, just for you to break even and to acquire a buyer for free. And that's why most people get destroyed if their first product that they ever launch in the online world is doing this, because they think that the intuitive thing to do is to build up this value ladder and sell a low ticket item first. Now, if you think about a webinar, moving forward, it's the same thing. If you take a look at the numbers right now, typically, now when I say these numbers, by the way, I want to clarify and say that these numbers I'm talking about at scale for cold audiences. Now, could you have a 3-to-1 return on ad spend on warm and hot audiences? Of course, if you run this to people who know, like, and trust you, you could say anything. You could say, guys, this Thursday, I'm going to spend 45 minutes reading phone numbers off Yellow Pages, and there's still going to be people who want to be able to tune in, right, if they like you that much. I'm talking about people who have no idea who you are, okay? And that's the case. Barrier to entry, right, it's going to be significantly higher. So, for a webinar, it's the same thing. Right now, if you could get, for example, $10 cost per lead, at scale is tough, still doable, right? But it's typically more than $10 cost per registration. And then if you take a look at the show up rate, which is still declining, typically if you get a 20% show up rate, it means that it's going to cost you $50 to get somebody to show up on a webinar. And that means that if you sell a $1,000 product, you will need 20 people. First of all, if you're selling a $1,000 product and if you have a 5% conversion, I'm horrible at math, as you can see, but that will mean 5 people would have bought, okay, which means you had a $1,000 in sales, but to get 100 people into the room, it will cost you $5,000. So in other words, you need a 5% close rate just to break even. And by the way, if you haven't done webinars before, a 5% to a cold audience, people who don't know you at all, for a $1,000 product is tough. It requires a lot of practice. It requires you being clear about your offer, the stories to tell, what to teach, and engaging, educating them, all of that. And that's a hard skill set. Some people take years. I know I did. It took me years to get good at presenting. And that's again why most people get crushed utilizing this. So what is the point of this video? This point of this video is ultimately, if you want to be able to make it work, you'll see same thing for a webinar. When does a webinar works? When you understand lifetime value, when you understand what happens after the webinar, what happens in the back end. Am I able to bundle a live event ticket that comes with the webinar training so that I can send them to the next level? Does it come with a phone call so that I can sort, sift, and go through which leads and buyers are actually qualified for the high ticket? So same thing for the webinar, just like the low ticket. It's only truly scalable when you bundle something with it in the back end for you to get that 3-to-1 return on ad spend immediately. Again, gone are the days where you could put $1 in and get back $3 out. Those are like 2016, 2018, maybe up to 2019 days, okay? Not anymore. So you probably know where the conclusion I'm arriving. So this is what I call the reverse value ladder. I've been modeling this and talking about this for a really long time, because that's literally the focus of where the pivot that we've made, right? We want to be able to start with high ticket. Why bother with all these things when it leads to high ticket anyway? Why not begin with this? And that's one of the biggest shifts and pivots that we're doing right now. So start with high ticket. Why? Because high ticket, you'll notice that the funnel, as opposed to executing a webinar funnel and doing a presentation every single week, as opposed to a low ticket, is pretty straightforward. You run an ad. The ad goes to some sort of landing page where a person watches a video. They are interested in this, they apply, they fill up a form, and if they're a good fit, they show up on a call, and if you're right fit to work with each other, that's when you close them and you become a client. If you take a look at this funnel, now this funnel over here, it's actually possible to significantly get more than 3-to-1 return on ad spend with a good solid offer, with a good automation to get show-ups in place, and to be able to close a person on the phone. Now we have campaigns over here where we have a 7 or more return on ad spend from one funnel like this, as opposed to funnels like this. So this year, the focus that you should be really looking at, that's not talked about enough, is really the things that is required in order to make a high ticket funnel work. Now what is that? So stuff like, how am I getting people to, first of all, book a call? How can I teach in this video and educate so that I'm able to filter out my ideal clients so that they want to apply? So number one, get good at thinking about what this video is about. How can I show my audience a specific outcome or result and say, hey, and if you want to be able to do this and work together with us to be able to have this done, click on the apply button. Okay, that's number one. The second thing that you want to be able to work on in order to make this work is, number two, is over here, right? How do you make it so that when they fill up the form, these are the different questions where you're able to qualify them so that you're attracting the right audience. And then number three, to make sure they actually show up on a call. So this would be your emails, your reminders, the automations. I know my handwriting here is horrible, but this ultimately, the CRM, right, that you want to be able to have in place to really make sure that this is one smooth, well-oiled engine. And by the way, what if I told you that I've already built this entire marketing campaign for you? I'm talking about the landing pages. I'm talking about the entire sequence of the pages when it comes to the forms, the booking, getting people to show up. I'm talking about the emails, the text messages that we personally utilize, the automations and the reminders all plugged into the system, where the only thing that you got to do, this is literally based on our high ticket funnels that has generated tens of millions of dollars, where you just got to be able to swap out your product, your offer. But guess what? The best part is that it's all in one software. So that means you don't need another software for your landing pages. You don't need another software for your calendar management. You don't need another software for the forms that typically people might use Woofu or Calendly and another funnel builder and integrate it all together with some sort of API. Guess what? It's all in one place, and that's through our software, salesprocess.com. I would like to be able to invite you to check out this entire campaign done for you on a platter. The link is in the description box below. You'll get a free 14-day trial to be able to build out and roll out this entire sequence that I've built for you. I've personally utilized this as well as for my clients, and we've done it again and again and again. And if you're somebody that wants to be able to make high-ticket funnels work for you, go check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you truly want to get good at this skill set, be sure to binge watch this entire playlist that's also going to appear in front of you in about 3 seconds.